Joining me to discuss the market today is Adeboyega Olatunde, his head equities dealing at Primera Africa. Boyega, it's great to have you on the show. Let's get straight into it. Yesterday, we saw the consumer goods sector shed 1.59% in trading. We saw the likes of Unilever down 3.9%, Nestle down and also 3.9%. Do you think that we'll continue to see this happen in trading today?
I don't think so. Largely, in Nestle's case, Nestle has very small float, so the overall quantum of shares that are actually traded are very small. Now, except there is a huge seller, which I sincerely doubt, because there's always buying interest in Nestle. So in Nestle's case, I honestly believe that it's settled around that 1150 to 1,200 naira range in price. So it's not likely to decline further than that.
Do you think it's expensive though? I mean, 1,200 naira. Well, it's gone up 74% this year. And I remember earlier in the year when we were talking about it and saying, will this stock go to 1,000 naira?
In August, it was August it was 935.
Yeah.
But now the challenge you have with Nestle is this: it's liquidity. Right. First of all, in terms of pricing, it's the only stock that is valued at above $5. So even for an international who's looking at Nigeria and is thinking, okay, where can I allocate my capital? The first stock that'll probably jump at you is Nestle's trading at $5, and the stocks after that, the most expensive stock after that, which is Guinness, is priced at maybe about $1.50, thereabout. So you're looking at it and you're wondering why is the huge disparity. So there's obviously something in this particular security that I should take note of. So that's basically why. Earnings for Nestle have also been good. Last year, it was a 24 kobo. They paid dividends of 20 naira in total. Nestle has always had a dividend payout of about 90 to 95%. And that's a trend that has consistently remained. So that's why Nestle would always have its appeal. It's a vintage stock, basically.
What about Unilever, though? Because it's trading at 59 naira. And so far this year, it hasn't done. Well, it's okay, but it hasn't done that great. It's gone up 28.5%, of course, in comparison to some of the other stocks in that sector. Are you surprised by that performance this year?
Well, not necessarily so. The basic thing with Unilever and that particular space is it's been, one, problems of declining, what's the word I'm looking for here? Declining, I'm trying to remember. Disposable income. Okay, you've had declines in disposable income that obviously would affect demand. You'd also have difficulties in moving their goods, particularly in the north. A significant portion of their income comes from the north. So basically, if you have a challenge with distributing your goods in the north, that's obviously going to impact profitability. But aside that, you have scenarios where the stocks have risen in value to the point where people do not specifically see any upside considering the growth in profitability. You do not have substantial growth in profitability anymore. So basically for Unilever, it's going to trade in between 59 to 62 naira range for quite some time, simply because the prospects going forward for that security in question are not fantastic. It'll probably be solid, but nothing fantastic.
Let's talk about some of the gainers and losers in yesterday's trading session. We can start with Livestock. It went up 10%. It's done really well this year. It's gone up 198%. Are you surprised by that performance? And do you think that this will continue in 2014?
Livestock's particular case has been enhanced by its acquisition by UACN. Now, UACN also owns Grand Cereals and Oil Mills. Grand Cereals and Oil Mills is the second largest miller in the country after flour mills. Now, by acquiring Livestock Feeds, what it basically has given them is given them a foothold into the agricultural feed milling space. It's the third largest feed miller. So I think it's due to the fact that they believe that there are synergies in that transaction. Ultimately, I would not be surprised if they want to continue keeping the company listed, and you might see a merger of the operations of Grand Cereal and Oil Mills and Livestock Feeds operations in the near future. So basically, that's why I feel that, yes, there is potential. There's potential for upside. The challenge right now is a scenario where you don't want to see the price go way out of sync with earnings. So you don't want to see a scenario where earnings are less than 50 kobo and the price is hovering around 30.
Now, of course, everyone is still talking about Transcorp. It's up 9.9%. I can't believe we're still talking about it. I've been going on about this stock for the past 3 weeks. But I mean, it continues to, obviously move the market there. Are we starting to see new investor interest? It went up yesterday, and lots of analysts I spoke to said, no, it's not going to go up this week. It's going to go down.
Well, the thing with Transcorp is this: it lost about 39%. With first major decline it had, it lost about 39%. Now it started recovering on Friday. It's recovered 2 days straight. The challenge you have with Transcorp now is the question most investors would ask is it a long-term, is it an investment play, or is it a speculative play? From the sentiments generally, it's more of a speculative, because when you do ask, okay, what are the notions around you investing in Transcorp? Oh, well, I'm trying to see how high the rally would go. We should also know that this is a company that 9 months earnings were still less than 10 kobo. So full year, you're projecting earnings at the most 15 kobo. They paid a dividend of 5 kobo last year. I don't see that much growth. At the most, they'll probably pay optimistically, 7.5%. 7.5 kobo at the most. So you've seen a scenario where the price has gone way, way, way out of sync with the earnings in question. So that's why I don't think there's a lot of upside.
Let's talk about Costain. It went up 9.9% yesterday. Interesting to note, it's one of the worst performing stocks on the index this year. It's gone down 58%. Yeah. So it looks like that's starting to pick up, though. I mean, when I checked a few weeks ago, well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, it was it lost 74%. So things are looking up for that stock. Would you say that?
Yeah, they are. There were issues regarding an outstanding debt issue with First Bank. First Bank initiated winding up proceedings of the company. That was what we read in the papers. Now, Costain also came out to say that, oh, their outstanding indebtedness to First Bank has been resolved, and the company has picked up in terms of pricing afterwards. So basically, we're starting to see renewed interest in that space, simply because it's a construction company. The only other construction company in that space that is worthy of any sort of attention is probably Julius Berger. So it's a scenario where, oh, if Julius Berger is highly priced, give or take, okay, and I can look at Costain.